guys, welcome to this new video. Today we are going to talk about Kubernetes init containers in our Kubernetes for Beginners series. What is an init container? So in Kubernetes, an init container is just a container that needs to run first before the principal container run. So that's there. We have some containers in Kubernetes that when you start the pod will start, but those containers need to run to completion first before the regular containers start. Usually those containers are there to do a specific work. They are there for a specific purpose. They are there to do something specific, and they need to run. And no matter how many init containers, so all init container need to run to completion and be successful, right? Before the regular container start. That's the first rule. All init container need to run first. If you have a single init container, that single init container need to run first before the regular container come. Now, if you have 2, 3, 4 init container, all those init container need to run first before the regular container start. And init container run in sequence, right? They run in sequence, and the sequence is how you put it in your YAML file. So the next thing is that they need to run to completion, meaning that if one or more of your init container fail, your regular container will not start, right? I can see here, say init container run before app container. Init container can contain utility or setup script not present in an app image. We can have and run multiple init container before app containers. Init container are exactly like regular container, except init container always run to completion. Each init container must complete successfully before the next one start. If a pod init container fail, Kubernetes repeatedly restart the pod until the init container is successful. So in other words, if your init container fail, your regular container will never start. So we are going to go to the Kubernetes documentation. So if I type Kubernetes init container, for example, we can go to Kubernetes documentation and try to get something there that has a pod that has an init container. As you can see here, we are going to take this YAML file here, and we are going to run with that. So we have this pod here. So let me increase this so that, oh, I was not sharing. So we have this here. So we have a pod called my app, and we have an init, we have 2 init container there. So this is the regular container here, our regular container here, and we have 2 init container, and those init container need to run to completion. As you can see here, we have the first init container here, then we have the second init container here. So these two containers need to run to completion before the regular container start here. So let's go and put it in the cluster and check it. So I can say kubectl here. Let me delete whatever I have here first. K stands for kubectl, so I set an alias k equal kubectl. So I will take down whatever we have there running. Then I'm going to empty that file. I will vim into that file, and I will paste our YAML file. Then I will say kubectl apply -f, and I will pass the name of the file. It will create that. I will say kubectl get pod. As you guys can see here, it is still initializing, right? It is still on init, because init container need to run. Init container need to run first. The container has not started yet because init container are not done running yet, right? So let's wait. It's going to take some time, 20 seconds. It's going to take some time. This is doing this because in our init container, it has to run this. So let's give him and then look up for service. It's looking up for service. Let me see. We may have not taken everything there. Yeah, there are service missing, right? This is the file for the service. So this init container are going to be stuck because it's trying to look for a service and it doesn't see that service. So the regular container cannot start. So we are here after 62 seconds. The regular container has not started yet, because if I try to say kubectl, for example, get a log of this, we say error container is waiting to start port initializing, right? Because it's being held by the init container, and the init container is looking for a service that it can see. It's looking for a service, but it's not seeing that service. If we go to the Kubernetes documentation, we actually deploy this init container here. It's running a command until ns lookup my service. So it's looking for a service called my service. So it can see those services. So the service in question are here. So this init container will be there forever, and nothing's going to happen. Why? Because there's no service yet, right? Nothing happened because there's no service yet. Now, if you hook a service on that, everything will be all right, right? So like I say here, at this point, the init container will be waiting to discover service name my DB. So you can see that service. Nothing is there. So if I copy this now and we create those services, meaning that I will put those here. If we actually go back and modify our YAML file, I'm going to quickly empty that. Then I will vim into it one more time and replace everything. At this time around, it is going to only create the services, right? The service has been created. Now, if I say kubectl get port and watch, let's watch. As you can see, as soon as I created the service, now the application is running. Why? Because the init container has already done the two init container have already done the business, and everything is happy. So why? Because the service was there. So as you can see, the init container need to run to completion. The init container was looking, these two init container, as you can see here, it was actually echo waiting for my DB. My DB, what? This service is called my DB. It was waiting for that, right? Echo here waiting for my service, and my service was actually looking. Meaning that when you start this container, this init container will check to see if this service exists first before starting the regular container. If this service does not exist, the init container will block the regular container from coming up. So that's one of the scenario that, for example, you need to run a container, and that container need a service or a config map or a secret or whatever to be present before that container can run. You can put an init container to check, right? You can put an init container to check first to make sure that everything is all right before the regular container start. I hope you guys like this video. See you guys on the next video. Thank you.